Good. And last, we have, for those of you who, we're going to talk about a project indirectly that's been an amazing construction project, and that's LaGuardia Airport. I just think that the job that's been done there over the years, while running an operating airport and actually doing construction, is really phenomenal. We've been a big supporter of that here at OANA. And they also, when they open, are going to have a lot of jobs opening up for our people, good jobs, good paying jobs. So I'd like to bring in David Burgoa, okay, from Neighborhood Housing. They're involved in personal financing for housing. They also are tasked with promoting and letting people know about different jobs that are happening at the new LaGuardia Airport. So David, sorry it's been a little late, but please join us.
No, hello everybody. Hi Richard, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Perfect. Let me see.
I know you don't have a picture, correct?
No, not today. Unfortunately. But hopefully I'll get to see you and everybody soon. Now that we start getting into hopefully the end of this craziness, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So let me see.
So you want to talk about both the LaGuardia? You want to start with LaGuardia jobs and how people find out what's available and what your organization is doing with the LaGuardia partners?
Let me see. I did prepare a little presentation. Can everybody see it?
No, I don't see it at this point. Victor, can you put it up? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Nope, perfect. All right. So, well, thank you, everybody. My name is David Burgoa. I'll do my best to keep it short and tight. We are Neighborhood Housing Services of Queens. A little bit about us. We're a HUD certified non-for-profit organization. We're a housing counseling agency. We were established in 1994. We have 25 years of experience in homeownership services and counseling here in the Queens community. We try to revitalize and preserve underserved Queens neighborhoods by providing opportunities for homeownership, education, affordable housing, financial assistance, and empowerment, homeowner services, and now workforce development, aside from the community leadership. We don't want to feed you one day. We want to teach you so you know how to feed yourself for the rest of your life. Our vision. Neighborhood Housing Services envisions a borough of healthy, sustainable, and affordable communities. We want to make sure that the people that live in the community that make up these wonderful communities around Queens, they stay in those communities, whether it is through home ownership or whether it is through affordable rent, through affordable housing, right? Our mission, again, revitalize underserved neighborhoods by creating and preserving affordable housing opportunities and providing opportunities for homeownership, education, financial assistance, and community leadership. And we work in partnership with government and businesses. We are led by local residents and guided by local needs. Our board is a combination of neighbors and also private entities. Also, we have a little bit of everything. These are our services and programs. We do rental counseling, which is pretty much affordable housing, landlord and tenants' rights. If you're a tenant and you have questions, we help you answer those questions in terms of your rights. Landlord, same thing. Affordable housing, we do help people apply for affordable housing. Financial capability, we help you with your finances, find ways in which you can save money, find ways in which you can manage your budget a little better. And again, I'll mention why in a few minutes. It's not only to save, but it is to invest. We do first-time home buying. And that's where that portion comes in. We want you to save so that you can purchase your first home. We want to have you ready to purchase your first house because, again, that is part of you staying in this community and living in the community that you're building around yourself. After you purchase your house, we do have homeowner services because we want you to keep that house. We don't want you to buy today and sell tomorrow, or buy today and sell it in a year, 2, 3. No, we want you to keep that house because, again, a house is an important piece of the owning of a house is an important piece of preserving our communities sustainable. And then workforce development, which in a way ties into it. because again, we all need money to purchase a house. We do give you options on ways you can save, but we also give you workforce development opportunities where you can apply for maybe a part-time job additionally to what you have, maybe a switch in career, and different options. Lastly, adopt a family, which is the program I'm just gonna say out loud now, because it is something that just was created during the pandemic. It is a program that was funded by local residents. Local residents provided donations to adopt the family's weekly groceries expenses. Let me put it that way. We kind of calculated how much money it would take to feed a family for a week, a family of four, and we had amazing donations so that we can help feed those families that were in need. We had then identified some families that were in desperate need of groceries and food and services, and then they are part of our program. Right now, our program is fully capped, as you can imagine. We do have a lot of people to serve. Again, we are open to donations. That way, we can keep opening the program. But if you have a family that may be in need, that it's a dire situation, please let us know. We may not always have everything, but we do our best to assist in whatever way we can.
How do you, can I interrupt? How do you solicit funds for this? Do you do like a GoFundMe page, or do you events?
Yeah. For the adoptive family, we have set up in our website a section where you can donate, and you can see some of the impact that we've had on a lot of these families. Our website is www.nhsofqueens.org. I think it should be, yep, it's at the bottom of your screen.
Put that in chat, Victor. That would be great, so people have a record of it.
Thank you, Victor. So yeah, that is a way in which people can donate, and you don't have to donate, for a full week of groceries. You can donate as much as you can, and then we'll do our best to manage our funds and resources and help as many people as we can. And that is the Adopt a Family program. Let me jump into the rental counseling. For affordable housing, we do provide one-on-one assistance filling out applications for affordable housing. For example, Section 8, NYCHA, and Housing Connect 2.0. Now, as many people know, Section 8 and NYCHA are waitlist-based programs, which means it's first come, first serve. So right now, you can imagine how long their waiting lists are. So if you've already filed and you're on the wait list, we do help you renewing that application. I believe it's every year or every 2 years. But if, let's say, you are a new applicant, we do help you fill out those initial applications, but we would recommend that you do Housing Connect 2.0, which is the affordable housing lotteries that the city has put out, based on the new developments that are populating our neighborhoods. That is one. Then we also assist with landlord and tenants' rights. If, let's say, you are facing evictions and your landlord locks you out, we do our best to guide you through the legal process of the right way of evict someone. You cannot just lock up the room and say you gotta get out. No, there is a process. So we try to educate tenants as well as landlords, because as many people know, there is not only bad landlords, there are also some bad tenants. So we do our best to work with both landlords and tenants so that we can help them navigate the legal process of whatever it is they're trying to achieve. I used eviction as an example, but there are other processes like repairs, withholding rent, and what circumstances, etc. So that is in terms of what we do for rental counseling. You sit with our counselor, and based on your needs, he's going to discuss with you your options. Now, for financial capability, we have also a counselor who's going to help you improve your credit, create a budget, and diversify your income streams. I know we've all been hit hard by the pandemic. Our incomes have suffered. So he'll sit down with you and find ways in which you can save money, whether it is through, tying things up through a budget, diversifying your income stream through different employment opportunities, not necessarily only in the airport, but our counselors handle different opportunities, like, something that Our counselor himself does is he hosts dogs. He dog sits, I think that's the word. He dog sits for a while a person is traveling, and that is extra income that he's making, and he loves dogs, so to him it's amazing. So we do look into that if that's something you're looking into. Uber Eats is another option. Amazon now offers different opportunities for reading and recording. Recording people reading books for kids, for adults, young adults. So we do work with those as well.
Mhm.
Unemployment benefits assistance. If you are trying to apply for unemployment, we will help you fill out the application and follow up with appropriate agency. That is for financial capability. Again, and the goal is for the last two programs, affordable housing and for financial capability, to get you ready so you can start in our first time home buying program. The idea, again, we want to keep you in the neighborhood. We want you to buy a house, to own a house, and to stay here and keep our communities beautiful. And, it is a lot of moving pieces. We don't necessarily force you to do financial capability, affordable housing, and then come into a program. No, it is your choice. Each program works independently, but again, if this is out there, I say why not. We do.
I'd say one thing too, as far as first-time home buying. From living in this neighborhood for so many years, one of the best things that can happen to a neighborhood is when you have owners owning the properties on the street. As soon as you have absentee landlords, that's when the quality of life conditions all through the street starts to go down. So we're greatly in favor of people owning their own homes and being a strong part of the neighborhood. So,
No, absolutely, absolutely, and again, it just strengthens the neighborhood. Something that was mentioned earlier is the fact that you used to walk down the streets and know everybody, or everybody would know you. We want that feeling, we want everybody to know each other, to work collaboratively. Especially now, something that aroused during the pandemic is that sense of trying to help each other, checking on your neighbors, make sure that they're fine, that they have everything they need, especially during lockdown these past few months. That has been an important piece on what we've been trying to communicate to people. Just make sure that your neighbors are okay, that they have water, that they have paper. Toilet paper was a big one. So ideally, we want to counsel you one on one so that you can purchase your first house. We do home buyer education courses where we tell you the process. Anybody that tells you just give me $10,000 and I'll get you a mortgage, they're not telling the truth. There is a big process that is involved, and we try to tell you specifically what you need to do to navigate that process, and we'll walk that process with you and with the different partners that we work with. We will help you with your down payment and closing costs through our grants and the loans that we have. Now, many people ask me, what is a grant? It's basically a loan, but it is a forgivable loan. As long as you fulfill certain requirements that the grant requires, it is forgivable. For example, one of the grants that we work with requires you to live on the property for at least 10 years. Again, that ties in with our mission that we want you to stay in the community. And at the same time, they're giving you money so that you can stay in the community, but you got to stay for at least 10 years. If, let's say, by any chance you have to move when it's 5, we can work it out with the lenders. You may have to return some of the money that was borrowed, but again, we'll work with you on a one-on-one case. And again, this is free money. They're giving you money so you can purchase your house. I always say, why not? It's free money. And if you're planning to buy a house, ideally you are thinking about staying on that community for the long term. This is not encouraging people to purchase a house, to rent it, and move to Florida. We want people that want to stay in the neighborhood. And then lastly, we'll help you with the pre-qualification and pre-approval. We work with all banks across the board. We'll direct you into which ones have the better options based on our one-on-one meeting with you. We'll look at everything that you have to show us, And then we'll tell you, well, this bank has this program, but this one has this program. You know, you may like TD Bank, but if Chase is offering you something a little more juicy, why not give them a shot, right? We'll work with every bank across the board. Now, you are a homeowner. Congratulations, you purchased your house. We want you to keep it. We will counsel you on mortgages and property taxes. Not only do you get the grants for when you're purchasing your house, but there are also government programs that will help with the property taxes. And again, since we have that communication with the banks, we can work out deals in case there are some issues with your mortgage. Things happen, we understand. Last year, everybody got hit really hard with the pandemic. The banks had to step up and say, listen, we cannot force people to pay money when they're not working anymore. So they started programs to defer payments, I don't want to say forgive, because they're not forgiving the mortgages, but they're giving you options to pay that money or refinance. So again, you have us to work with the banks on your behalf. We'll work with you as well, and we'll do our best to address whatever needs you're facing. We want you to stay in your home. And the second portion to that is home repairs. We work with grants for emergency repairs to homeowners who cannot afford them. Luckily, we're getting into spring, but last year, before we entered the winter, we had people who needed repairs on their roof. Winter was coming, the roof had some cracks. These people didn't know what to do. The repairs were super expensive. We offered our assistance. We were able to find some money to help them make those repairs. As you can see, some of the programs that we work with are Restore, which is up to $10,000, Project Help up to $20,000, and the Adequate and Sustainable Home Repair Program, AHC, up to $40,000. Again, if you're a homeowner and you're watching this and you have some emergency repairs that need to be made, please reach out to us. They're very specific on what an emergency repair is, so I cannot promise that we can get you an emergency repair grant, but we will certainly do our best, especially if you fulfill the requirements. It's almost guaranteed,
Are there programs for senior-specific programs? Often, seniors are on fixed incomes, and when it's difficult for them when these kinds of repairs come up.
Yes, and thank you for mentioning that, Richard. That is one thing that when you submit, we help you submit your application. That is one thing that these grants look at. They look at how much of an emergency the repair is, and they also look at whether the person is a senior or not. So if you are a senior, you really have high chances of getting these grants. Not to discourage anyone that is not a senior, but again, because these are emergency repairs, there are categories, and there is a certain preference to the people. I think it's on a need base. I think that's the right word. So yeah, we do. And again, if let's say we cannot get you Restore, we'll try our best to get you Project Help, and we try to manage everything as best as we can. So please, if you have any issues with your property, you need emergency repairs, reach out to us. Now, this is my program, Workforce Development. As Richard mentioned, we are working with the Port Authority, the Council for Airport Opportunities, and ELMCOR, and we started a local hiring program for community boards 1 through 4. As you know, and Richard mentioned, the airport is being redeveloped. They're expanding. And with that, these agencies like ours advocated so that, they're building in our backyard. Why not, give us something to work with? If they're expanding, why not give us a chance, or give our neighbors a chance to apply to those jobs that are opening? The redevelopment is still in progress, but that doesn't mean the jobs are not available. We are already partnering with a lot of the businesses in the airport, And every time they have a need for workers, they reach out to the partnership, and we do our best to send people to fulfill that need. For example, usually we get calls that they want to interview 20 people for security guards. Okay, we go to our database, we look at people who are interested in applying to be a security guard, and then we tell them tomorrow there's an interview. Would you be able to make it? And, we proceed with that referral in hopes that you get hired. Uh, we do our best to prepare you the best we can so that you get the job. Ultimately, the decision is not yours, but we'll work with you. If, let's say, you couldn't get the job tomorrow, next week it may open up again, because guess what? People didn't show up, didn't show up to work. They passed the interview. The week after, they didn't show up to work. Well, now they need another 10 people to make sure they cover those 20 positions. That is just one example for security guards. But for the positions that are available, there's not only security guards, we have everything that you can think of inside the airport. Maintenance, customer service, food service, food packing, cargo, driving, working with the airlines, anything that you can think of in the airport, we refer people to those positions. So if let's say you have a background in food service, we have jobs available for food service in the airport. If you're trying to switch careers, we'll give you the options. Every week, these job orders are different because, again, the businesses are trying to fulfill whatever need they have that week, and we try to send the best people we know to apply for these positions. So
one thing I'd like to say to everyone too is that the airports themselves are the largest employers in Queens and have been for many, many years. And as a matter of fact, I used to work in the cargo side of the business out at JFK for 25 years, and it's very steady, very good employment, and it's a great opportunity for people. So I hope that they can take advantage of it.
no, absolutely, they have great opportunities. Again, the airports where not a lot of flights were open, but not a lot of people were let go. People kept working at the airport. In fact, they kept hiring people for maintenance, because a way to win people's trust so that they can continue traveling. With the limited traveling that we had, to gain people's trust, they needed to make sure everything was squeaky clean. So a lot of maintenance positions opened up. When you may think, oh, they're not going to open up new jobs. Quite the opposite. They open up specific jobs, but that was an opportunity for people. And again, if you live in community boards 1 through 4, you understand the parking issue. We want to make sure that people that live in the neighborhood work in the airport that's in the neighborhood, because guess what? You can bike to work, you can walk to work. That's going to reduce the impact of all these cars driving from the other boroughs for for people that work in the airport. So it is a win-win for everybody. We are very happy to partner up with the Port Authority and these wonderful nonprofit organizations, the Council for Airport Opportunities and UMCOR, to bring these opportunities to Queens residents. If you are not in Queens, don't be discouraged. We can still do a referral. But again, as I've explained to you, the goal is having people from the community take first dibs at these jobs. But, if you are looking for a job, reach out, apply. It may not be LaGuardia. We also do referrals to JFK, and we also do referrals to Newark. So please let us know. Lastly, we do workshops on resume assistance, interviewing skills, cover letters. We'll do our best to prepare you so that you are successful when we are sending you to apply for these jobs. Not to say that, one example, someone comes with a beautiful resume, but given our experience, there are tips and tricks that can make your resume stand out with the companies in the airport. So we'll work with you. We have a counselor specifically for resume assistance, and she'll I was gonna say she will sit down with you, but right now everything's virtual. She'll communicate with you, and via phone, via now we have all these wonderful applications, Zoom, WebEx, whatever works for you. She'll work with you so that we can get your resume, your cover letter in the best shape that we can.
Okay.
And this is how you make your appointment. If for any of the services that I've mentioned, you can call us at 718-457-1017. You can also book your appointments in our website, www.nhsofqueens.org. If you are trying to book an appointment with our counselors, that is the way. Now, for the employment opportunities, what we need you to do is to email your resume at dburgoa, that is me, David Burgoa, at nhsofqueens.org. Once you email me your resume, I will share it with our account managers who will contact you between 3 to 5 business days to discuss what opportunities we have available at the airport on that specific moment. And it's much easier, trust me, when we have your resume at hand. Because we can already match you and we can already go to the point. But again, it is a
email address in the chat. I appreciate it, so people can keep a record of it.
Perfect. Thank you. And that is pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to work with anyone that needs any of these services and get you the best assistance that we possibly can.
Great. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
I have a question, Richard.
Yes.
David, as someone who's trying to buy his first home, I also am an entrepreneur, and I know a lot of the home buying process depends a lot on like a W-2 history and things like that. Although I've worked many years in a standard W-2 workforce, but the last year I've been running my own business.
Okay.
So my questions is, does your program, which I'm interested in participating, does it offer assistance for people like me?
Yes, absolutely. For a mortgage, they would require a different set of documents if, let's say, you're running your own company. I don't know those from the top of my head, but you are super lucky because tomorrow we have a home buying orientation.
Oh.
So I would encourage you to register for it. Let me see. I'm going to try to pull it up. It is in our website.
I'm on the website now.
Oh, perfect. Let me see. So if you go to upcoming events, I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, right here. It's on free upcoming webinars and upcoming webinars. Home buying orientation. Tomorrow from 6 to 8, we are going to have an interpretation for English. The webinar itself is going to be in Spanish, but we're going to have interpretation.
Okay, so it's the first event, affordable housing, or which one is?
No, if you scroll down a little bit, it's a home buying orientation.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, we did have affordable housing webinars Monday, yesterday, and today. We are having the home buying orientation tomorrow. And also, if you're a homeowner, we do have a resource fair in April 20th. So again, everything is on our website. I would say that is your best resource, not only for what's upcoming, but let's say by any chance, Victor, you missed the home buying orientation tomorrow. We're gonna have it available on demand. If you go to our virtual webinars, past webinars, we put those here. So if anyone needs to visit one of our previous webinars, we have them here. Like we had a estate planning series. That was an interesting topic. We did 4 nights of estate planning, how to draft a will, how to make sure that it's in the system. It's not only writing on a piece of paper. You need a lawyer to help you, submit it to the courts. Everything is here on our website.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem.
David, you guys really take on a lot of great subjects, and you've been a great asset for the community. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, David. If anybody has any questions, they have the contacts in the chat for David and for the neighborhood housing services. So if for any other reason you have any other questions that you, or for whatever reason you can't reach them, you can call us and we will put you in contact or email us. So, David, thank you so much. It's been a long night, but you know, I like the fact that we started with how do you finance development, and we ended up with how do you finance the home. We sort of covered the whole gamut of what can happen. So, I appreciate your input on this, and also, like I said, the airports themselves are great, steady employers for the community in Queens, and what you're doing with them to try and get these jobs out to the people in the communities. The communities that actually have are negatively affected, in fact, by the airports at certain times because of traffic and airplane noise and all the construction that's going on. It's also important that not only do we deal with the negative, we also get the positives out of it. So we appreciate what you're doing.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Again, I'm always available if anybody has any questions. You have my contact information. If you can't get to me, you get to Richard. Richard will get to me. He knows how.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Well, this brings us to the end of it was a slightly longer meeting than we expected, but I hope it was very informative. It was interesting. I'd like to thank Leon Hovsepian and Stacy Andriadakis for their presentation on real estate finance, Antula Konstantinidis for discussions on acting and what she was doing in the pandemic and her wonderful performance, David Burgoa again from the from the Neighborhood Housing Services of Queens. And then also I want to give a great shout out to Victor Prado. Victor, who is our genius on the setting up all the platforms here on the internet, and he also does the graphics on our flyers and then our LinkedIn NYC. As a matter of fact, Victor, if you want to take a second here and explain what you do, we'd love to have you do that.
Sure. So I provide a media company. It's called Ninja Man Media, a little throwback to the 90s TV shows I grew up with. But essentially what I do is provide graphics and social media marketing specifically for small businesses. And I generate value to businesses in that regards as well. But I also, as a media company, produce streaming events like this, as well as provide this graphic artwork and anything media related, I essentially handle.
Good. And then if you want to put your information in the chat, if anybody wants to reach out, that would be great. I also want to thank Malika Schmidt. I don't know if she's on right now, but she's our webmaster and has been since the beginning. As a matter of fact, I've been working with her for 20 years. She also works within social media and handles our website, and she's doing a great job on that. And we have a new employee who's just started. She's a recent graduate of Hunter and the political science degree at Hunter College. Her name is Jessica Tercios, and you'll see more and more and more of her as we go along. And I also want to thank an intern from LaGuardia who's been helping us, Nathaniel Velasquez, okay, and he's been also working with us. And lastly, this is very important. I want to just go back to the beginning. Again, we are on that community advisory board for the 21st Street renovations when they want to put the bus lane in. Okay, so please look in the chat. If you go to our website, you'll see the link there. But if you go to our website, you'll see the post anyways. It has the link in it for the presentation from DOT. And we have our email address, feedback@oana-ny.org. We really want your feedback because when we go to these meetings, we are representing the community. We're not just representing ourselves. We need your input to give to DOT. And then lastly, the program conversations that I discussed at the beginning. We want to start bringing out different ideas, sort of a blog type of thing on what can be done, whether it's a big thing or a small thing for the community. We started off with a discussion on spring in Astoria, what we can do to have safer roads and business districts, particularly when the weather warms up and the streets get busier. And we hope everybody can read it, and again, give us feedback at the same address, feedback at oana-ny.org. And you find that again on our website. You would go to the news tab, and then underneath that you'll see press releases, and underneath that you'll see Spring in Astoria. And there is also in the chat the direct link to that. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in a month, and we hope to have another interesting presentation. We are trying to put together now presentations, forums for the candidates for our two council districts, both the seat of Costa Constantinides and also the seat of Jimmy Van Brainer. And we will see if we get that all arranged. We're trying to do that now. You will, in fact, get notification of that. And lastly, I do want to say a thank you to Councilman Costa Constantinides, who just resigned from his seat. He had a lot of health issues and family issues, but he's still continuing to give back to the community. He's now the CEO of Variety Boys and Girls Club, which is going through a major expansion and improvements. So he's still part of our community. We'll still be working with him. We appreciate everything he's done, and we look forward to a great future together. Okay, thank you, everyone, and see you in a month. Bye-bye.